Beginning of the new year brought with it some new and interesting legal rulings within the realm of copyright and trademark. We're going to talk specifically about copyright because trademark is a completely and totally different animal, which might end up working its way into this story in totality. But Steamboat Willie, the original incarnation of Mickey Mouse, is now a part of the public domain. Now, personally, for as much shade as I've given Disney over the past, well, however long I've been doing the channel, I'm not enthusiastic about this because, well, okay, unless of course you've been living under a rock, you've probably seen what normally happens when it comes to things going into the public domain. What was it, a couple of years ago, Winnie the Pooh went into public domain, and what was the first thing that happened with it? Well, exactly what we're going to be talking about here with Steamboat Willie very shortly. But as NPR has it put, Steamboat Willie is now in the public domain. What does that mean for Mickey Mouse? It's not, you can't use Mickey Mouse. You can use Steamboat Willie. I know, they look the same, they act the same, they were normally referred to as the same thing, but it's different. It's quite different. An early Walt Disney movie. No, the first Walt Disney movie. Okay, featuring the first appearance of Mickey Mouse is among copyrighted works from 1928, moved into the public domain on January 1st, 2024. But the cartoon creature who stars in the animated short Steamboat Willie isn't a lot like Mickey we know today. He's more rascally and rough. His roots in the blackface minstrel shows of the time are more apparent. Oh my god. He's not exactly cuddly. For much of the movie, Mickey amuses himself by forcing barnyard animals into being unwillingly musical instruments. Oh, back in the good old days, a la Looney Tunes and such, but obviously this one... I say obviously, but was Steamboat Willie obviously before the Looney Tunes cartoons? They were in on and around the same time. He's evolved so much and become more 3D and colorful. Sure. Observers, Ryan Harmon, a former Disney Imagineer of the character today. He remembers anxious talk when he worked at the company in the 90s about the beloved icon eventually entering the public domain. And this is how they ended up playing a shell game for the longest time, by abusing trademark law. But I don't like anybody's intellectual property as long as it's being maintained by the custodians or the individual himself or herself, I guess, but... did they create anything? No, for it to just simply be put into the public domain where you can no longer monetize it, shepherd it, or be the custodian for it. I don't like that, just, throwing it out there. Because every man is entitled to the sweat of his brow, the harvest from his fields, the bounty of his labor. I don't like the soft socialism. Goes without saying. But yes, as Kembrew McLeod, communications professor and intellectual property scholar at the University of Iowa, has claimed, what's going into the public domain is this particular appearance in this particular film. That means people can creatively reuse only the Mickey Mouse from Steamboat Willie. Now, oh my god, Disney's going to be just lording over this stuff like a hawk, okay? If it's not a complete and totally accurate depiction of Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse, they're going to be slapping everybody with ceases and desists. This is going to be a messy. If you thought that 2023 was a legal nightmare for Disney, 2024 is going to have to hold its Bud Light. Not the Mickey Mouse in the 1940s movie Fantasia, nor one of the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Kids show that aired on the Disney Channel for a decade starting in 2006. Yes, we know. New version of Mickey Mouse remained under copyright. Copyright applies to creative characters, movies, books, plays, songs, and more. As it happens, Mickey Mouse is also trademarked. Well, yeah, of course. It's the logo for Disney, okay? For as disheveled as they are and in the current state, it's still one of the biggest movie studios, if not the biggest brands in general in all of entertainment. So yeah, Mickey Mouse, pretty important stuff. Trademark law is entirely about protecting brands, logos, and names, like Mickey Mouse as a logo or the name Mickey Mouse, McLeod says. And of course, trademark law has no end. See, this is how this differentiates. Adds Harvard Law School professor Ruth, steals a bunch of stuff. Oh no, sorry, that's the... president. Sorry, I'm sure Ruth wrote everything that she did. Disney and other corporations, she says, use trademarks to extend control over intellectual property. As long as the mark remains distinctive in the supply of goods and services, the owner of the trademarks get to protect the trademark. See, I'm actually fine with that. And I just don't like them having to fight back against the government in order to go, no, 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 that's for everybody to use. That's our idea, comrade. So yes, what do we have here? Public domain, yes, 2024. You are free to copy, share, and build on Mickey Mouse 1.0. Trademark, yes. You cannot use Mickey in a way that misleads consumers into thinking your work is produced or sponsored by Disney. Yeah, that's something completely and wholly different. Newer copyrights, you cannot use new copyrightable versions of Mickey until those contracts expire. Exactly. You have Mickey 1.0 with the hat, with the trousers, with the shoes, with the tail, with everything that you see right there. You have access to that Mickey Mouse right there. Or, you know, you could just simply go and create your own work and not have to worry about any of that stuff, but whatever. It's something copyright scholars like myself have been concerned about, she continues. This effective undermining of the public domain, good, fuck the public domain, by allowing trademark law to effectively extend the life of a copyrighted work. And it's my hope that either Congress or the courts will restore the full balance between the protection of creativity and the protection of the public domain, which is also the protection of creativity. Yeah, I'm with you on 2/3 of that trident right there. The creation, and protection of creativity and the enforcement of intellectual property. Because I don't care if you think about it. I don't care if you make it. Whatever you do with your ideas is yours and yours alone. Now, people should still be able to do things like incorporate clips of Steamboat Willie in an art project, or maybe sell a t-shirt reproducing a frame from the movie. But Okadiji, sure. Cautions, we'll just call her Ruth. We're on a first name basis. Cautions, if those things infringe on a trademark or threaten to dilute the trademark because of the way that it is used, then Disney can use the law to assert its ownership. This could keep people from making, for example, a Mickey Mouse slasher movie. Funny you would say that, but I made mention of this, right? Okay, yeah, that was that at the beginning of last year? Where, yeah, Winnie the Pooh ended up going into the public domain, and what's the first thing everybody does? My slasher. But Mickey Mouse wasn't the only thing to head into the public domain, but I just want to echo the sentiments of one great Razor Fist when he's asking, when he's answering the question, I can't wait to see what the internet does. Okay, public domain, here I come. The same thing the public domain always does. Vandalism. Well, yes, of course, because, the original Peter Pan, created by J.M. Barrie, is now in the public domain, and guess what, guys? Lo and behold, there's a slasher film in development for it, and as it goes without saying, Mickey Mouse slasher film trailer debuts. The iconic Disney character emerges from the copyright and enters the public domain. And as you can tell by, not so much the trailer, but by the bust and likeness itself, Disney's going to be on this like white on rice. You best believe it. The earliest known version of Mickey Mouse enters the public domain today. And then there is already a movie. There's a movie coming out which features the iconic character as a serial killer. Very original. The new indie horror film called Mickey Mouse's Trap is eyeing a March 2024 release date. Oh my God, just the crap that's out there. Razor's right. Vandalism. Cultural vandalism. With the first trailer arriving on New Year's Day. United States law allows a copyright to be held for 95 years, with January 1st have every year bringing a new wave of intellectual property that can be used by anybody. It has paved the way for Mickey Mouse's Trap with the trailer via actor Simon Phillips' YouTube, making it crystal clear that this is not a Disney production. Disclaimer, this is not a Disney film or production. It is not to be affiliated or endorsed by Disney in any way. The film makes use of the public domain Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse only. Sure thing, pal. I'm sure that's going to stop the legal eagles over there at Reedy Creek, well, the former Reedy Creek. It's like their iconic character. Former agreement with the state government of Florida somehow went to the public domain last year. It's been a rough time for old Disney, but not as rough is what that chick is going to be facing there. Unbelievable. Steamboat Willie's Mickey Mouse entered the public domain January 1st, 2024. No copyright infringement or later version of Mickey Mouse or trademark infringements. How are you going to... Yeah, how are you going to differentiate that? Okay, in a meaningful way where Disney just can't go, nope, nope. Walt Disney's Steamboat Willie, released the 1928 first appearance on both Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, who also enters public domain on New Year's Day. Oh, so Minnie's also out there for the world to use and abuse as they see fit, as if DeviantArt hasn't been a thing. Any newer version of the beloved mouse is still protected under copyright law, but for the first time since the mouse's creation, a version of him will be in the public domain. The indie film's Mickey Mouse's A Trap is seemingly the first to take advantage of the character in public domain, with Phillips playing Mickey, a demented killer dressed as Mickey Mouse. Why does it always go this way? I don't know. I guess there's just something intrinsic about wanting to see a cute, cuddly character for as, insensitive as you might be for modern audiences. But just to see him completely and totally perverted and turned into a slasher, unbelievable. For as unoriginal as pilfering the public domain is, it's always the case that these hacks use and abuse these stories. Why? Okay, if you're going to be using an iconic Disney character, why not follow the same Disney formula? Okay, because how did they make their bones? Okay, just take a look at Snow White. Okay, perfect example, something that dominated quite a few headlines in 2023. But that right there isn't an original story. It was an adaptation. This is something that you could also do if you're going to go ahead and pilfer the coffers of Disney on this one. You could go ahead, take the character, and extrapolate on that one. Whatever you do with Steamboat Willie, well, that one's totally up to you. I haven't seen cartoon, even though it's been uploaded multiple times over in its totality all over YouTube. It's out there. All I know is what I remember on that one. But instead of doing something unique on that, no, just put a knife in his hand and make him kill a bunch of co-eds. Obviously, you have every right to do that, but I look at that the same way that I think that a chick is being unique and special whenever, she turns 18 years old and immediately signs up for an OnlyFans. You have the right to do it, but then I also have the right to look down my nose at you. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.